Well, the first part's very easy. He certainly does not change. In his being, he is immutable. And what happens is that he takes upon a human nature. He doesn't stop being God and becoming a human being. And that's the old kenotic heresy that was popular in the 19th century, where God gave up certain attributes in order to become incarnate. And you hear that among evangelicals all the time. Well, God, in order to understand what sin is or suffering is, he had to become a man and change his nature to be able to be empathetic and all of that. And so he gives up this deity. Or you hear this: God chooses to limit himself. What? Does God choose to limit his knowledge, his power, his omnipresence? No. God is eternally, perfectly, immutably God. This is one of the things we see in theology all the time, that almost every denomination has the same fundamental confession of the being and character of God. But I think the uniqueness of the Reformed faith is that when we get to page 2 of our systematic theology, we didn't forget what we confessed on page 1. And so that our doctrine of God informs every other doctrine in that respect. The second part of your question was how do we?
If not, why and how do we respond to the question?
By a clear statement of the nature and character of God.
Do you want to add anything to that, Dr. Thomas?
Yes, I mean, the incarnation was not by subtraction, it was by addition. That God is immutable, God cannot change. And the incarnation cannot involve a change in the being of God. He added to himself something that he didn't have before, that is human nature. But that human nature is not a divinized human nature, nor is the divine nature a humanized divine nature. They are two separate natures. So there is no change whatsoever in the divine nature.